What is up, Mad fans and hoop heads? Hope your vibes are immaculate today. I'm AG, your host, owner, CEO, director, manager, and all that. Welcome on into another episode of Mavs Rundown. Appreciate you for listening and joining with me today. A special guest, Lakers Chris. What up, Lakers Chris?
What's good, AG? What's good, man?
What's going on?
We fresh off watching this Mavs blowout, and now we're just gonna get to the talking about it.
Hell yeah, we're gonna break it down real quick. Mavericks come off Game 5, crucial win, 102-77 at home to get a win against Utah Jazz. Complete blowout fashion. Amazing game. I know the series, the stat that was showing a lot today was winner of Game 5 in the series goes on to win the series like 82% of the time or something. So basically, Game 5 is a very crucial game, and luckily Mavs, have home court advantage. So now Game 5 is at home for us, and we come out with a big win over the Jazz. As I said, in blowout fashion, it was just a masterpiece. I guess we'll talk about overall right now. I mean, Luke, it was really a Luka Jalen Brunson game. They combined together for 57 points. Wow. Donovan Mitchell only had 9 points. Rudy Gobert finished with Jordan Clarkson had 20. I was going to say Rudy had game high, but he had 17. And Jordan Clarkson had 20 off the bench. Otherwise, Donovan Mitchell only had 9. And we held Bogdanovich only 2 points the whole game. So, big stuff from the Mavs. Great defense throughout the whole game. Honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead. We'll just roll through the game real quick. Just go over the thing. Just go ahead and butt in where you feel like.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was kind of a game at the beginning. We saw the Mavs kind of take it away far and away in the third, but I mean, when your defense holds a backcourt to 13 points. When you hold arguably the second or third best player in Bogdanovich to 2 points, 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. And then like I said, the 13 for the whole backcourt combined. I mean, Mitchell can get you 35, 40 by himself. Conley can give you a good 15, 18, and to hold them to 13 points. So if we break that down numbers wise, 6.5 points each. You can give Gobert 37. Gobert can get 37 and it wouldn't matter. I mean, it was a complete spanking. I saw, solid play from Brunson again, man. I mean, he's looking like a legit starting, point guard. I mean, I've always known he's been, starting point guard potential. I mean, he's showing you in the playoffs now, with Luca taking a game off or two and coming back, from the injury. And people were saying maybe he shouldn't have played that last game.
Right.
This was a vital game, man. I wouldn't say it was, make or break, like it was do or die for them to win because they would have, been down 3-2. And you've seen teams, but like you said, 82% of the time, the team that wins Game 5 wins the series. And man, if you just look at the body language from specifically Donovan, if you just look at the body language of Utah in general, it just doesn't look like you can kind of see a self-destruction before our eyes. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about him going to the Knicks or getting out. I think he would actually be a phenomenal partner with Luca, but
that's why I wanted the Mavs to get the Jazz this year. I was like, you know what? I want to be the team that kind of breaks them. Like they're finally, they're on their last straw. I want to be that team that kind of finally breaks them up, and that'd be like a cool way to get Luca his first series win.
The Mavs. This series should be over. This series should be 4-1. This should have been the Game 5 eliminator. I've known from the beginning they were going to win. I wasn't sure if they were going to win in 5 or 6 games, but I knew they were going to win in 5 or 6 games. I just didn't know which one they were going to get. I'm telling you though, I think all Mavs Nation knows that they should have had 1 in 5. But that's not for here or there.
That's with if Luca's healthy coming into the series. But a lot of everybody would say Mavs in 5.
I like what Finney Smith brought. He hit three threes and 13 points, and Bullock hit a couple threes.
Right.
I always mention this guy. I don't know if you've noticed the 4 times you've had me on, 3 or 4 times you've had me on. I always mention Dwight Powell, and I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, AG, because you're the legit Mavs fan. I don't feel like he gets enough credit from your fan base. I know there's guys like the diehards like you and some of the well-known basketball fans, Mav fans, know about Powell because he's been on the team for a while now. But I don't think he gets enough credit on what he does defensively, and can step out and hit a little jump shot. And he's I don't know, he just plays with this I guess a big man that kind of lays it all on the floor every time. And he's had a lot of injuries in the past. I've always been big on him because he's kind of he's not really a stretch, but he can stretch if you need him to. And he plays defense, he plays hard. He's somebody that he's always going to give you 110% every time he plays, and that's what I like about him. And I was surprised because Dinwiddie, he only gave you 9 points, but other than that, your guys' bench was, completely. I mean, you didn't see a lot of shooting. Kleber shot once. Bertans only got 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But
But
for
yeah.
that for the bench to be so bad tonight, meaning only
Yeah.
producing what it looks like 15 points from the whole Mavs bench, it just goes to show you that shit when you got when you got your back court giving you 57 points, basically 60 points, you can kind of leave way with some room. And Utah just doesn't look, they look checked out, man. They look checked
Right.
out.
You
And the Mavs are just hungrier and they look like the better team, and that's why
right.
they're
You
going to advance.
yeah, you're giving me a lot of points. I'm gonna string it all together real quick because all right, the Dwight Powell experience that you brought up, yeah, that's been a very rocky like relationship with the Mavericks, like very up and down. At first being like this, who is this guy, to becoming right before the injury, like oh wow, this guy is actually really valuable for us. And then the injury happens and he comes back and people are like, oh, now he's not gonna be the same. Like, and then people got to the point where it's like, we need to get rid of him ASAP. I was definitely one of those where I was wanting them to trade his contract at the deadline and stuff. But this again, this is also the upswing now for him because he's finally like looking healthy, like legit healthy, like he was before, where he's catching all these lobs and just really looking athletic. But then that's also mixed in with Jason Kidd's coaching style, where he's actually bought in on defense. Where before he would get bullied kind of down low just on defense and really just wasn't a factor. Like we knew he brought energy, but it didn't seem to translate over to the defensive end. And now it seems like with this whole scheme, with the way Jason Kidd's guys playing defense, it's really brought out like the best in Dwight Powell. And offensively, what brings out the best in Dwight Powell, what shows in the series, is Luca. Dwight Powell finished with 8 points, but all those were in I think the first quarter,
Yep.
if not the first half. When no, I think first quarter, and basically they were all like Luca dimes or just finding him wide open,
Yeah.
and then just starting the avalanche from there. Because then all of a sudden they start sucking in on making sure Dwight Powell doesn't get these easy buckets, and then that opened up the three for us, and it was off from there. And then going off, the bench point, yeah, that was major. Look at the bench; it was I don't know how much they had total. I'm trying to do a quick math, but I mean they had over 30 bench points, and we only had 15. So,
Yeah,
or
they
yeah,
can't do that, man, in the next
that's
round.
yeah. But I mean,
They wouldn't be able to do that against New Orleans in the next round if they were to play New Orleans opposed to
well,
Phoenix,
it
man.
just it depends because if you got your top two guys, Brunson and Luca, just playing at just a super level where they just literally took over the kind of the game. I mean, things like that can slide. I mean, you definitely don't want
It
to
can,
see
but
that from the bench. You definitely don't want to see an offer from Maxi Kleber who went 20
yeah.
minutes, didn't score at all. You don't want to see that.
And not only that, man, took one field goal. I mean, you need to be more aggressive.
Right, right, yeah. I think he definitely turns down some shots tonight, but I
I'm
mean,
just
with the way the offense was rolling, I mean, it was the starters just killed it. And if
right,
you look
right.
at the plus minuses, it was all the starters, and then Maxi had a plus minus because I mean, even though he only takes one shot, his defense gets him his plus minus stats up because he's such a great defender, on ball and in the post.
Yeah.
But actually, let's run through the game real quick because I know a lot of people may have missed the games. Let me run through the game. So in the first quarter, man, well, even before the game starts, it's a big day. I think the Luca's got his like Luca ones, his new signature shoes, just now starting to pop out and stuff. So he's starting to feel good about himself. Now all of a sudden this 2-minute report comes out saying, on the end of last game, talks about how Donovan Mitchell should have been called for the offensive foul when he shoved Dwight Powell in the face and, got the offensive board back and then got the and one over Luca. So that shouldn't have even counted. So I'm sure there's a lot of fuel and energy, I'm sure, feeling, especially being at home for the fans. And you could definitely tell before tip off, everybody was fired up. So that just, hindsight being 2020, that really translated over into the game. In the first quarter. That translated right off the bat because you could definitely tell in the rebounding end, guys were going in like I was looking at the rebounds. Reggie, I mean, of course, Luca had 13 rebounds, but if you're looking at the other guys, they didn't have any big stats. Zoto 5 rebounds, Reggie 7, Dwight 4, and then Brunson 5. But really, a lot of those rebounds were tip rebounds. Guys were getting in there and just at least tipping because you got to go against a 7'1" Rudy Gobert averages like 14 rebounds. Like you got to get hands in their hands on the ball to tip it away. And they definitely did that tonight, and it was working well. And I'm always harping they got to gang rebound. They got to all go attack or like they did tonight, all go attack. Just at least tip the ball out to the front court and let one of the other 2 or 3 guys go chase it down. And hopefully we get the offensive board. They did that tonight and starting the first quarter. I like that. And then as we talked about with Dwight Powell, he was scoring in the paint with ease. He had 8 points all in the first quarter. And it was showing Luca was getting his rhythm. And then that continued in the second quarter, man, and they just overflowed. That's when the Luca JB got aggressive. They ended up scoring 9 points each in a quarter, and Dodo had 10. That's when he scored. He only finished with 13, so he had 10 of his 13 in the second quarter. And that's when the Mavs went on a big run. We went on a 20-4 run. And in that run on a Luca and one fake out on Rudy with a minute 16 left, where he drove the lane, did one of his signatures, fakes the pass around Rudy's body, gets, eventually does a couple of them, gets Rudy looking one way, and then gets an and one off the backboard layup on Rudy. It was just nice, and that capped off a 24 run by the Mavs. They ended up finishing, I think, the quarter like a 22-8 run to finish the quarter over like a 7 to 8 minute stretch. So just great defense along with just smoothly ran offense, like very fluid. Everything was just rolling smooth. Luca and JB were just getting to the paint at will, and they finished. It was a great first half of team defense. And then they continued that over down to the second half, man. It was like once they hit that button, once they flipped that switch, and we went on that run. It was like we were automatic. We were on pilot mode the rest of the game in a good way, where it was just rolling smooth and the energy was still there. Everybody was rushing to the rotations. Like you didn't see that many missed rotations this game. And then, as we just talked about, we held Mitchell. We were really on Mitchell and Bojan on their shot attempts. And, I've been listening to like some of the Jazz stuff. And really that what one of the guys was saying is Donovan Mitchell specifically Donovan Mitchell doesn't shoot well off of like a one night rest of games. Like he needs at least a couple of nights and he plays effectively and pretty well. But off one night rest, statistically, he doesn't play well at all. And tonight showed that. 0-7 for 3, 4-15 shooting. Don't want to credit all that just to one night. Being one night rest because, Reggie and Dodo just, I want to give them all the praise they can because, they're the ones kind of underrated too for our team.
Absolutely.
Two 6'8" guys that can defend all the positions and playing defense like crazy and also hitting threes on you, busting threes on you on the other side of the court. Like, what more can you ask for? They got Reggie starting the game guarding Mike Conley and Dodo guarding Donovan Mitchell, and they're still going down getting rebounds and tips over Rudy Gobert. Like that's the range they have, and it's and it's so crazy and underrated to see for this Mav team. And
Yeah, they definitely got them too. Modern day. I'm sorry to cut you off.
no,
Three
you're
and D
good. You're
guys.
cutting anytime.
3 and D guys. I know a little bit about Bullock. He was a former Laker. I was upset that we didn't get to keep him because he played for like half a season,
I about to
and
say y'all I had it for
I
like
knew I
forever.
knew he had potential, man. I mean, he
Uh,
just couldn't shoot when he got to us, but he's improved his shooting. With the Knicks last year, and then now with the Mavs.
No,
Always
he's
been a three and
actually a
D guy.
career. You know what's crazy about his stats? He's a career like almost like 40% shooter, but he
Right.
has like, if
He's
you're looking
streaky
at the
though, man. He's
months, no,
streaky.
he sucked for us at the beginning. Like the first like half of the year, everybody was like, "What the fuck? Like we just wasted all our money. Like what did we do?" Because he
That
could
was a
not
yeah.
buy a bucket, bro. He could not buy, and his
You know
stats are
what?
so crazy because he has shooting splits where like once he gets to I forgot what month. January, February, he like just like
Spikes up.
flips the switch, yeah, and all of a sudden he's shooting crazy efficient,
That
and
reminds me of KCP when we had Caldwell
yeah,
Pope. I mean, he was so bad, bro, that at the games you were hearing people begging for him to get the fuck checked out. Like
that's true.
cussing.
And then he goes and wins y'all a
And
chip. He's
and
one of
he
the
was a
main
big part.
reasons.
And
Yeah,
what was he, bro? He was a 3 and D guy. He
yeah,
wasn't 6'8" like Reggie and Dodo, but he was 6'5" with long arms. Played
right.
defense, was tough, and he hit the three. And that now, like as far as I'm not going to downplay role player because you can still be a starter and be a role player, but that's like what every team needs two or
Oh,
three
of
of,
course, the 3 and D
and
is
two of the
crucial.
guys that you guys have are going to be crucial to your playoff success.
Right.
To what
That's a very now looking back, it's a very underrated signing at the time. Because now when you look fast forward to now in the playoffs, you've got like I just said, two dudes that are like 6'8", long, lengthy arms that can guard all positions essentially, or give fits to Rudy Gobert at least. Because there was times that tonight we went small, had Dodo at the 5, and we're still letting J Kid just let him play it out. I mean, Rudy scored some, but I mean they gave him fits still. It's not like Rudy went out here and had like 20-20 or anything. He
that's
get
one thing
get
I've noticed,
trouble.
man. Their
Yeah,
defense, the Mavs defense has improved dramatically since the beginning of the year. I've saw them live this year 2 times. So I got to see them, in person twice, but just on TV from the beginning too. Their defense has drastically changed, and again, like I said in the last spot that you had me, that's a testament and an ode to J Kid and Judley, ramping up that defense and putting an emphasis on we're going to score points. We're going to be a good offensive team because we have the weapons for it. We have the shooting and and just a little bit of everything offensively. But once you saw that the Mavericks were put in focus now this year specifically on defense, when I think it's weird because Carlisle was always a defensive minded guy. And when they won the championship, in 11, their defense was what help them win a championship because they stopped Kobe and Gasol and that whole Bynum team
yeah,
and Miami.
yep.
So now with Kid back, you know they really
What is
changed their
yeah,
defense. I mean, with them in Boston, meaning and I'm not going to say they're the two best defensive teams, even though I know they're both like top 5 or 6 in the whole league. I know Boston's like one right now. Boston and Dallas both equally, bro, enhanced their defense so much more than any other 28 teams in this league. They're the two best, meaning they
yeah. They
improved
they
so
turn things
much.
around on it. Yeah,
Yeah, they improved so much, and I think that's showing you why the
why?
Mavs are about to go to the second round, and they can potentially be in the conference finals, bro. Especially if they get New Orleans. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, and we'll get to more of the future stuff in a minute because there was some other stuff that happened right at the end of the game,
What
has
happened?
some implications that we'll talk about. But continuing there, and they finish off the game real quick in the third. Yeah, that's the Mavs already had the lead, and it was cemented in this third quarter where Luca scores 19 points in the third quarter,
He's cooking.
and yeah, he comes down. There was even a sequence where teams playing defense. Utah has the ball. They swing it to the corner. I think it's O'Neal or Jordan Clarkson, one of those guys, and tries to take a corner three, and it's Luca's rotation over to the corner, and he hustles, like runs as fast as he can out, and runs out, contest the shot and blocks the corner three attempt where he's having to sprint out all the way in the rotation and gets a block.
And
Then
he wouldn't have done that 2 years ago or last year. He didn't show that
yeah, he
effort.
was not doing this type of
No,
giving this
no.
type of effort, and then he comes up and hits a well, I put another pull up three because I just missed the other stuff, but he hits a pull up three, and that I just want to mention that sequence because it just shows how his full game is now. It's all coming full circle, like all around game is finally blossoming in front of our eyes.
And
Because
nobody's
before,
asking him to be a defensive horse either. He just needs to show effort, and he has.
yeah, there was they said during the game. I heard the broadcast say that the coach Jason Kidd told him like before the year started that hey man, you're ranked 250th like I forgot in the league or something defense like you need to step it up or something. And then of course just saying that probably got Luca's his juices going and shit. And then like somewhat towards the end of the year or something like that, he told him he's like, yeah, you're about like 150th now. And then that's probably gives them a little bit more, keeps going, and then come to find out those numbers, Jason Kidd just made them up and sent it to Luca just to push him and make him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though that could be accurate.
Nah, he gave him
But
the realness treatment.
yeah,
It's like what
yeah,
they say with the
basically,
old heads. Oh,
essentially, as that's what I think it came away with. Like, dude, like you're known as a guy that's like not playing defense. Like, you got to prove that no, you play defense. But yeah, he did that. But in the third, man, he was so killer, man. Like he had back to back step back threes with 5 minutes left, and that the second one he hits a little shimmy on him. He was just, and then right after that was the sequence where he blocks the corner three and hits another pull up three. He was just on fire, and it was just great to see in his second game back that it's like, all right, yeah, Luca looks healthy, he's back, like that calf strain, we can all finally kind of exhale, like. Like okay, he's good, like what I'm saying, like he's not looking hobbled and like oh shit we're gonna have like only like 70% Luca or anything. Nah, he looks good. Jalen Brunson also scored 7 in the third. Uh, in the fourth quarter, not really much to talk about because it was pretty much a blowout. There was a little, scuffle, if you want to call that, when Whiteside and when Luca tried to, he tried to dunk on Whiteside, and Whiteside blocked it, but then also kind of fouled it, got a big old body foul on him. And then Luca was kind of like, what the hell? But then, Whiteside reached down to pick him up. Like, hey, I'm going to help you up. And Luca kind of like changed his tone, like, oh, okay, you're trying to help me. All right. No. Like, whatever. Like, I'll let it go type shit. But, hey, man, good to see Dodo and Reggie come up and shove Whiteside. Like, nah, we ain't having that shit. You ain't going to come down just like swing your arms on our superstar and shit.
can I
Of
say
course, that.
something, AG, that I saw?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I saw another thing I want to mention with Utah. Going back to Utah is I saw like Daniel House, and I think I saw Royce O'Neal, and I think I saw one more. It was for sure House and O'Neal, and it was another third player that I don't remember off the top of my head. And it was towards the third, going into the fourth, where it was kind of getting into a blowout, and I saw for sure O'Neal and Daniel House with this, like they were like laughing, but they were talking to somebody individually on the Mavs. And probably they either went to school with them or they just know them or they whoever they're cool
Or
with
the
them.
different
I don't.
connection.
What I'm
Yeah.
getting to is that Utah was getting their asses handed to them, bro, by like almost 30 in the third, going into the third. And these guys were just kind of laughing with the Mavs. Like the Mavs probably in their head were saying, yeah, these guys are chumps. We're running right through them. We're about to go win game 6 and go move on to the second round. And you got two of these guys on the Jazz kind of with that nonchalant attitude.
Seems like they're
And
almost.
I don't know. Seeing that, bro, made me say like, yeah, this series is over. It's over. And even if they, they're not coming back to Dallas. I'll tell you that much. This series is over, and I think Donovan Mitchell now is going to make he's trying to make a big point that he's going to make it seem like this team is not for him, which probably is right. They've tried for a while now,
Right.
and
Well,
shit.
hold on. Because I know you're about to get into. So hold on. Let me finish this real quick, and I know exactly what you're about to get into right now.
Copy.
So hold on to that point. That's a good point because that the laughing though, when you said you seen them laughing,
It just
I think
didn't seem like they
that's
were
for
contained.
sure a red flag
Yeah.
of a team that's down by 30. You shouldn't be laughing, even if the other team's making jokes. Like
Nah.
you should be like, nah, man, like
You don't
this
talk to me
ain't
right
over.
now, bro. I'm not in the mood, like
Right,
they
that type
allowed
of
it.
shit.
They
That's a
allowed
good
it, and I
point.
think the Mavericks saw that, and they're gonna go for the kill now.
Oh yeah, and I think that's when I was making a point about when the whole Whiteside incident. It's good to see Dodo and Reggie like they have that dog in them. They're not, messing around. And when you see it's still 5 minutes left, we're up by 30, and them still get real like that, like get up in his face and shove him. Like no, like we ain't having that type of shit. Like you ain't just gonna start flailing your big ass 7 foot arms around and shit just because you're frustrated because y'all losing. And so that was good to see. And then coming up to your point now, I had to cut you off because in the end of the fourth quarter, man, Donovan Mitchell he leaves with I forgot how many minutes left, but he has to leave the game holding his left leg against a hamstring possible injury. No update. Let me check my phone in case there's anything. Nope, nothing yet. Nothing yet, but no
I just looked
update.
too.
But he has a hamstring injury, and that's huge. If it's something big and keeps him out of Game 6, I mean, just at least Game 6. Not even talking game. If it goes to Game 7, like if that keeps him out Game 6, that's huge for the. I mean, for really both sides, but in a good way, it's huge for the Mavs. And then that goes into your point, my bad. And I'll get you continue now saying about Donovan and what's his view about like maybe leaving and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's for sure getting out there. I think he's going to be available. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a couple first round picks and a couple players
But you think
or a
I
nice
don't
player.
but you really think Utah would trade him? I know we're kind of skipping ahead, but we know this thing. You
I
think they
think
would keep
if he
him
puts the
and trade
nail down and
Rudy?
says if he puts the nail down, but that's the thing, man.
Yeah,
Even if you get Gobert
he has
out,
to
even if
want it.
Gobert leaves, like where's Gobert gonna play? Gobert
What
is
are they
one
gonna
of
get
those
to him?
guys. He's one of those guys where he has to fit a team perfect. Like he wouldn't be able to be on the Warriors. There's a lot of teams that he wouldn't be able to play on. Maybe the Knicks would do it, just like they were saying
I
that the
think
Knicks,
maybe who I
Randall for
give him to
Gobert.
Charlotte.
I don't know.
Give
I
him to
mean,
Charlotte.
I don't know, man. I just
Charlotte
feel
needs
like
anybody over 6'9". I don't think they have anybody over like.
Gobert, bro, reminds me a lot, and you brought his name up earlier right now. He
Yeah,
reminds me a lot of what Hassan Whiteside used to do on the Heat, where he would have like 23 points and 18
right.
rebounds. But then you look at the box score and you look at the intangibles and all the other shit and 6 blocks or whatever. And then, he would
It
have a
just
game
hurts.
against a decent center and he would have, and then the next game he would have like 2 points and
Right.
4 rebounds. And he kind of plays like that. Like
Well, I feel
his
like
numbers cover his real game up, man. You can take him out the game easily. And that's what the Mavs are doing. They had Dodo at the 5.
I feel like the common denominator between Rudy and Hassan Whiteside, even the Miami Hassan, is they're just not offensively like that, gifted. Like they're not or offensively a threat. Like they're
Yeah,
not, their post moves, their touch
right.
with the ball, like they're just not that good offensively to
They're just lobs and putbacks and
really, I
stuff.
think, maximize what they can do. Like Rudy is basically maximize what he can do because I mean, three-time defensive player of the year. Well, what more can you do except for be like, hey man, you should be out there scoring 20 every night, but he don't have that offensive skill set to be doing that unless someone's just feeding him open shots, which I think Luca could get him 20 a night off of pure
Right.
getting wide open oops and shit like that. But like he's not gonna go get 20 by himself type shit.
No,
So
but
I
he's
think
he's
that's where
out.
it
Ag
hinders
one
any
of them.
offense because if you can't shoot a basketball, really, that's what this NBA is coming down to. If you can't shoot a basketball, like it's hard to keep you in the game. Or if you
Yeah,
at least you can't move your feet on defense, like Dwight Powell, he can't really shoot. He can kind of shoot, but he don't shoot. You know what I'm saying in the game, at least anymore. J Kid got to make sure he doesn't do that. Like, but at least on the defensive end, he's not a liability to where Rudy is on like switches on the corner threes and stuff. Dwight's still agile enough and quick enough and fast enough to get to all the spots a guard or a wing needs to be. So I feel like that's the big difference right there, and
I
that's
I
where
will
this
say
league is
though,
kind of
man,
heading.
Mitchell's never had like a legit two, just like Luca's never had a legit two.
Right.
And I think, man, he would look really nice next to Luca.
What
Like
Don Mitchell
oh yeah, like
or
I'm talking about Brunson at the 1, Donovan at the 2, and Luca at the 3. I mean,
To get Mitchell, we'd probably have to give up JB.
don't
They'd
count your
want
horses
they
too fast, bro. I mean,
have to give
some of
up
these guys
JB.
give up, discounts. If Brunson is as smart as I think he is, and I'm not saying he wouldn't take the bag and leave, but if
Yeah,
Brunson is as smart as I think he is, I think Brunson is so smart of a player, even off the court, where I think that somebody's gonna get in his ear like a J Kid or like an agent and tell him, hey, look, man, you can go sign to the Magic for 55 million, get your 3 years 60 million, whatever.
mm-hmm.
Or you can sign, a 2 year 50 million to stay with the Mavs. Let's say, for example. But Luca himself is gonna make your career, and he's gonna make you look 10 times better than you going to the Magic would.
Right.
So I think Brunson is smart, but I'm not saying that that would happen. I'm just
Right.
saying that, man,
No, I
Matthew
think he
Donovan.
understands. I feel like, yeah, I get your point. Where I feel like, yeah, he's smart enough to know that, like, you need to be where the winning is. Like, yeah, like winning helps everybody. Winning literally helps everybody. It gets everybody paid, and it just helps the whole situation. Like,
Not only that, bro, but like when you have Luka fucking Doncic, arguably the best player in
right,
the league, as your teammate and somebody that knows he can trust, JB. I think those are the kind of relationships, man, that you don't want to let go of to go to the fucking Knicks
not
or
at
the
all.
Magic, and you start from the bottom. And, like we see it time and time again, guys look hella good with certain teams, and then they leave, and it's just like, look at the dude from Brooklyn, Patty Mills, man. They made a big deal about him going to Brooklyn, and he was on the Spurs system, and where he was huge, and then he goes to the Nets, and he just looks like another guy, man. I'm not,
Well, I
so
don't think he's probably being used as well as he should, because he had some games for them where he kind of went up. But yeah, I don't think their whole offensive like system is just not right
but
now.
we're not talking about the Nets. We're talking about the Mavs. They just got to
Yeah,
win.
yeah, we get
They look
way.
good,
But yeah,
and
but
man, we'll
back
see.
back back to this. I mean, Mavs come out with the game plan tonight. They stopped them from at least. Well, they shot threes tonight. I mean, they stopped the Jazz from making threes, even though the Jazz attempted more, because they've been shooting. Normally, in the season they average 40 three-point attempts per game. We've been holding them under each game, and tonight they had 30, which normally they've been averaging like 20 something. So that's good to see. And they're only 3 of 30 from three. So
Yeah,
that's
but their
great
backcourt had
defense.
13 points. No
Yeah.
backcourt.
Three
Even
of
for, no,
30 from
no
three.
backcourt.
No
Even in
backcourt. And
YMCA
Mavs,
would win you a game doing that.
right. Mavs only made 12 threes, but we shot, I mean, 40 we shot 43 threes, which, I mean, the recipe is just shooting at least 40 threes. Again, we need to put up a lot of 3-point attempts, keep stretching the floor, keep the defense honest, keeps Rudy out the paint, all that, all that stuff. We basically stuck to the game plan. The gang rebounds came out crucial. This is the rebounding stat. Mavs won it 49-40, won the rebounding battle. Offensive rebounds, Mavericks 11, Jazz 7. That's great to see. Great. When you're winning a rebound battle over a 7'1" guy, when your tallest guy on the court is 6'9", maybe 6'10", like that's
Rebound by committee. That's what we call
yeah,
rebound by
that's
committee.
amazing. That's you're doing something right. Look at the rest of the stats. We finished only with 11 turnover. That's good.
Really good.
Uh, Points in the paint. We won that battle 46-44. As I said, Jalen Brunson and Luca just get to the rim at will. Like, they can literally get by any defender they put on them, it seems, and especially Luca, obviously, and really just picked apart this defense. And so that's pretty much this game. It was just pretty much a blowout. So let's talk about next game. What do you see next game? What kind of adjustments do you maybe see Utah making? And what are your thoughts on next game? And who you think comes out on that?
I don't see none. I mean, the Utah is going to lose. I think they're going to come out with energy
Yeah,
because Salt Lake City, that arena is always full of energy, and their
yeah,
fans really stand behind the team.
yeah.
I think they're going to come out with a lot of energy. I think the Jazz might have a 10, 12 point lead in the first quarter or two, but I think they are gonna within time, end of second or third quarter, or maybe end of third quarter, the Mavs are just going to put it out the water. I mean, this series is done. Now the Mavs have to focus on who they're going to play next because this series is done. And if you as a Mavs
Well, if
fan,
you're talking to Mavs fans, we don't want to. No,
no,
no, we want to make sure this thing is done. We are zombie land. We are double tapping, making sure Utah is dead. We are for sure past this round.
and I think
No,
as Mavs fans
no,
and
for
as
sure.
Mavs Nation, you guys can't have that mentality. And I'm not saying you do, but you should not have that mentality of, oh, but it's cool if they lose. It's cool. We got Game 7 at home,
Yeah,
and
hell no.
don't have
Yeah,
that
that's
mentality.
hell
Don't
no.
have that
Yeah,
mentality.
that's something I think. I think that's what we got. Not to relate it to Jordan, but I feel like that's what Luca, like, how Jordan had to go through the damn Detroit Pistons and get his ass kicked to
Right.
figure out how to win. I feel like Luca, especially early in his career when we finally went to the playoffs against the Clippers, against fucking Kawhi Leonard, best defensive player in the whole,
Oh, they had
regardless in
arguably
the
the
wing,
three best
and
wing defenders in the league,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Arguably
two of them,
Paul
and
George,
Paul
him,
George
and Marcus Morris, bro. They
and
were
Marcus
three.
Morris,
They were
yeah,
three of arguably the top 12 wing defenders in the league
exactly, and just getting battle tested, like
with no
tearing them
number two.
up and
He
just
had
getting
no number
battle
two.
tested, and then learning like how to win games and how to finish, how to just all the trial and tribulations. And now I feel like he's grown, and now this year, the opponent is Utah Jazz, and it's unfortunately the Utah Jazz, who's kind of like this team, kind of on the ropes, on the edge. They're
But
just
why is it
kind of
unfortunate?
crumbling
This is the
apart
team
in
that
front
you
of their
said you wanted
eyes,
to
like
play.
going
This
against a very hungry Luca. Like, yeah, you kind of got the wrong matchup this year.
yeah.
That's how I see it as a Mavs fan. But of course, Mavs fans aren't thinking like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this. What's next? And da, da, da. Well, of
So
course,
what's happening,
us
AG?
media, we
What's
are.
going to happen? What's your prediction? What is it going to
No,
be, a
I think
blowout?
I think Game 6, and this is big because I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is gonna play. If he doesn't play, it's for sure. I feel like it's a wrap. Even they're playing at home, they could get hot. But I don't think this is another. I don't think Game 6 is a blowout at all. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's actually a somewhat close game to the end. But I don't think it's. I don't want to get. I don't like giving predictions, but I feel like it's within 10.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Sounds right.
I'll give him within 10, especially if Donovan's playing. If Donovan's not playing, it could sway way on the Mavs side because Donovan's huge for them. He's kind of their guy that kind of the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. And without him, that's going to be big. So I don't know how big this hamstring is. Injury is going to be. He's going to get 2 days off, so maybe he'll be okay by then. But you never know again with the hamstring how bad it really is and whatnot. But we'll see. But I think the Mavs, honestly, I think we seal the deal at Utah. We've been a really good road team this year, and done well on the road. I feel like they learned from their past, especially playing on the road. We were the road team the last 2 years in the playoffs, even though one was the bubble. But last year in the playoffs, we were the away team too. And I think we learned now, like, we know how to play on the road. Like, especially, I feel like this even postseason, you showed when we won in Utah, is like we just know how to focus in when we're, especially when you're on the road, you got all the noise. Like, they really know how to hone in. I hope all the trial and tribulations of the past finally culminate into finally Thursday sealing the deal, and I think we do, and we win the series like I predicted in 6. So I'm still sticking to that. So yeah, as of adjustments, I mean, I don't know what more they could do. They just gonna have to be more aggressive. They gotta get, they're gonna have to mix it up and make sure Bogdanovich gets more shots, better shot attempts. I mean, they got a lot of adjustments to make for the Mavs. Our main thing just got to play with energy. Like, our main thing, just play with energy, and that helps us on both ends. Because we're playing energy on defense, usually that energy transfers over to offense, and the ball just starts, moving and finding people, finding the open guy, and guys want to make that extra pass to find someone else open who has a better shot and all that type of stuff. Everything kind of rolls all into one. So I think Mavs just got to keep up the energy, and especially Luca's always going to be aggressive, but Jalen Brunson has to stay aggressive like he was tonight and look like that, that big bag type man that he's going to be this summer when he gets paid. But he's definitely got to stay aggressive like he was tonight.
Yeah, he's a beast, man, and
I
when he
call him
plays like that,
my nickname for him now. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Pitbull Brunson. I call
I
him
like that.
Pitbull.
He's kind of like a left-handed Lowry. I
He
mean,
is, but he
he
is. He's like that.
he's a
He's
pit
got a little
bull.
pit bull in him where he just runs
Yeah,
over whenever
but I mean,
He
like I
runs over
mentioned,
Mike Conley so easy.
like I mentioned last time, these lefties are so crafty, bro. How they dribble, how they move, and I think because
Yeah.
they are left-handed, and and he obviously can go right, as well as when he goes left, but uh, these left-handed guys, I think they have an advantage in the league because there's more right-handed players, and he kind of reminds me of, I don't know, man, but my nickname for him would be Mighty Mouse. He just reminds me of
Mighty
some, just a
Mouse.
little. He's a pest,
Right.
man. He's little because he's
That's right. They
small, and
just do it. Yep.
he's got to be about your height, bro. Ag, you're about 6'1", right? So I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
he's got to be about your
He's
height,
literally
bro.
around my height. That's yeah.
He's a
He's
beast.
just out there bullying motherfuckers. So
Yes,
he's
sir.
just awesome, man. Yeah. So yeah. Any final thoughts, man, before you head on out, man? This has been
Um,
this was a great night, great game.
The as again, as somebody that's made it obvious and stated time again, I'm not a Mavs fan, but as an NBA fan, I think the quality of basketball that they're displaying to the league, and to people like me that aren't a Mavs fan.
Hmm.
They're showing us, that they're a team to be reckoned with. They're a team of the future. They're a team that is building experience as we speak, and
Right.
to know that basically we all know. I think the whole league knows that they're about to win this series. Barring injury, they're going to win this series and they're going to
Not
move on.
according. I was watching the shows this morning, and I mean they're all picking Jazz to win this game. Basically, all the little
Yeah, but that's pre this
is.
game being complete. So now that
Oh,
they're
okay. You talk about tonight.
down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about this? Okay,
So,
okay.
so, so what I'm saying is, we pretty much all
Right,
know that this series is over. Again,
right.
especially with
Okay, that's what you're saying. Mhm.
Donovan possibly being out of game, 6.
That's crucial.
So, now the focus needs to be on the next opponent, and I know that they're waiting, and I know that some Mavs fans are going to say they want to play Phoenix, and some Mavs fans are going to say they want to play New Orleans. Well, I don't think, no, actually, let me take that back. I don't think any fan wants to play Phoenix, but I think with the Mavs, I think what I like about them is they kind of have that attitude, correct me if I'm wrong, of we don't care who we play, man. We know that our
I
team
was
plays
literally
hard.
waiting to see what you're gonna say because that's what I was gonna say. I think the
Yeah,
Mavs just
like they,
don't
I
care
think
who we play now.
they really have the mentality of, we don't really care who we play, whether we play the Suns, or we play the Warriors, or we play whoever.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, because I think what the Mavs fans need to be proud of is, win or lose, even if they get swept this next series, or whatever, you guys are going to leave saying, you know what? I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of what we brought out there,
right.
and I see improvement.
Yeah,
And again, as an NBA fan and somebody who's not a Mavs fan in particular, I
yeah.
love how their team plays. It's kind of like what I like with Boston this year. I hate
Yeah,
the Celtics.
Luca brings the championship mentality, but realistic fans, know that hey man, as long as we make it past the first round, honestly, we're playing with house money. So that's why it's like after once we if we can get past, finish seal the deal on Thursday, then it's like yeah, man, we don't care who we play. Like we're playing with house money. We're feeling good. Like we just came off our first series win since the title run. Like like bring it on. Like whoever wants to play with you, like let's play. Like let's especially if we go against the Suns, they might be missing Devin Booker. So going against them be good. If we go against Pelicans, obviously I feel like we're the better team there. So I mean, either way, like it's I don't feel. And if we, of course, you're thinking even further down the line, like if we make it play the Warriors, like I don't think we'd even be scared to play because we played actually the Warriors really well during the season this year. We've held
Right.
like Steph down, to low percentage, efficiency and things like that. So honestly, we're welcoming all challenges this year and just kind of basically going with the flow. Like, we just traded away Porzingis. So it's kind of like, this is kind of everything's still somewhat new and just kind of rolling with it. As I said, if we get past this first round, it's like we're playing with house money after that. Then it's just kind of like, all right,
Yeah, anything after this
do it.
series is extra, so you
Hell
would
yeah.
like to see them win, obviously, and go to the conference finals, but God forbid they lose, it's still like, hey, they improved, the team looks good, they have an actual voice now. I think Carlisle last year lost the team.
Yeah.
They got rid of some of the players that needed to leave. leave, like, Porzingis. And now that they have like a team that, they look like they enjoy each other's presence, and they look like they play hard for each other. And like you said, Dodo, and Reggie, they protected, Luca earlier. And it just seems like this team really genuinely likes each other. And that's huge for the future of the Mavs, because, you need, 6 or 7 or 8 of the same guys coming back, to build a culture. And they're finally building a winning culture in Dallas, and it's good to see, and it's good for the city.
Hell yeah. Well, that pretty much sums it up right there. And, last stat I'll take away with, man. Luca becomes the 5th player all time to score 500 points in his first 15 career playoff games.
Beautiful stat.
So, yeah, beautiful stat to end the night. And I know, like, I wonder his career. I should have looked it up. I think his career, like, if you're looking at only, I guess, 15 playoff career games, I think he has the highest career playoff points per game average, if not
Wow.
one of the top ones. I know that for sure. If
Wow.
they're only going, however many, 50, I guess he played tonight was his 15th. So, yeah, if you're only looking at 15 career playoff games, I think Luka ranks at the top at points per game, the playoffs. Yeah, crazy stuff. But, yeah, hey, man, I appreciate having you on, Lakers Chris. It's always good to have you on. Appreciate your takes and your view on everything, man.
Have me again next series, bro. When you guys are handing it to Phoenix or New Orleans
For
disasters.
sure. If we get past it, man, you back on. If not, I'm still gonna have you back on.
You guys are gonna get past it. I don't give a
Gotcha.
shit.
Yeah, hey man, I appreciate it. I'll take all the luck we can get, man. So the
Hey, Mavs
Mavs,
Nation, have a good night, man.
hell yeah, appreciate that. So the Mavs play again, as I said, on Thursday. Get a couple days rest. Play again Thursday at 9 o'clock at Utah. So it's gonna be bumping, and it's gonna be zappity, as Michael Scott would say. And it's gonna be fun, man. Let's see if the Mavs can finally finish off and get their first series win since 2011, the title run. So great stuff. Hope y'all ready for that. If you want to follow on Twitter, it's at Mavs_rundown. Mavs Rundown is free on YouTube along with Spotify and the Anchor app. Yo, I'm AG. That was Lakers Chris. Thanks for listening. Remember, cool heads prevail, and I'll see y'all next time on the Mavs Rundown.